Welcome back. It is actually 6 minutes before 7 o'clock. Now, this morning, as a matter of fact, in the next 20 minutes at the Four Seasons Hotel in Johannesburg, well, just a few blocks away from the SABC, the Minister of Small Business Development, Lindiwe Zulu, will lead a bilateral meeting with an Estonian government delegation led by the Estonian Deputy Minister responsible for entrepreneurship and information technology, Mr. Vaino Reinart. Well, the meeting will be followed by a business forum wherein South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, SACCI, will interact with its Estonian counterpart about possible opportunities. Now, both officials join us now. Very good morning to you, Minister Lindiwe Zulu, and thank you so much for joining us, and as well as good morning to you, Mr. Reinart. Now, Minister, I'm going to start with you. Where and how do we draw the balance between the work of small business and, of course, the International Relations Department insofar as country-to-country engagements?
It is all very interconnected because business itself is interconnected. South Africa belongs to the world, and therefore the connection between South Africa and any other country, and today in particular with Estonia, there is a connection because when you're doing business, we're looking at ensuring that small and medium enterprises too look out to the world. They produce products that are competitive, that can be sold to the wider world. But of course, with Estonia and the history of Estonia in particular in ICT, we're looking at what is it that we can share in exchange of information and improve technology, because we are now in the fourth revolution.
Now, speaking of technology, Mr. Reinart, now Estonia boasts about 300 million users of Skype. So how has this innovation put Estonia on the IT map internationally?
Well, I believe Estonia has been reasonably innovative in terms of promoting all sorts of digital services over the internet. And I also believe that Skype actually may be better known than Estonia itself is. But indeed, Skype was invented by Estonians in Estonia. Skype is still being run out of Estonia. And this is, of course, the most popular digital service what has been designed and implemented in Estonia. Well, we are proud to have been able to invent a number of other services, which we will be discussing together with the Minister at a later stage here. But indeed, Estonia is relatively small. We only cater domestically for 1.3 million people, and it's pretty obvious that we would never be a huge exporter of goods. Well, we hope it's going to be a little different with services. And as the digital services really make the best sense if they are implemented cross-border, so I believe there are plenty of opportunities for us to work together with our South African friends here, promoting digital services, cross-border services for a common good.
Let's focus more about entrepreneurship. Well, in South Africa, it is actually promoted as a possible vehicle of creating jobs. What's the view there in Estonia?
Well, Estonian economy is about small and medium-sized enterprises. More than 95% of the Estonian economy actually is represented by small and medium-sized economies. And of course, in order for them to grow, they have to be able to go international. And this is what really brings us here. Considering the importance what South Africa plays here in the region as well as globally, well, I believe we should have been here a long time ago.
Right.
Well, this is the first bilateral visit we actually are making to South Africa. And well, we've got many reasons to come here. And one of them, of course, is indeed the need to work together with the businesses here, promoting business and investment. And the other reason what brings us here is, of course, the upcoming presidency of the European Union, what Estonia will take over from Malta for the second half of 2017. And so we will have an unusually important role to play also from the perspective of promoting the African relations with the European Union in general.
Right. Now, Minister Lindiwe, the emphasis for today's meeting is about, the opportunities for the SMMEs. So, in this particular instance, which specific sectors are we looking at? Well,
we're looking at the ICT in particular, as he's just been describing Estonia and how it is important in as far as ICT is concerned. So we're discussing that. I'd also like to say that we're supporting SACCI, the South African Chamber of Commerce, in this case, because there's going to be an MOU that will be signed between the Estonian Chamber of Commerce and the South African Chamber of Commerce. But also it's about an exchange of skills, because remember that the majority of South Africans were left out of the major economy of South Africa, including the ICT. So we believe that the exchange in as far as skills is concerned, particularly for young and black, is important. But lastly, it's about the exposure. Some of us have got the advantage of having been in exile and managed to travel. I was just telling the Deputy Minister that I traveled to Estonia on my own as a student when I was studying in Russia. And I think that it's time we opened up the opportunities for South Africans, not only from a business point of view. There is a whole history of culture also in as far as Estonia is concerned. So we must promote that. All right,
do hold the thought there, Minister. Will certainly continue our conversation after the break. But for now, though, it is 7 o'clock and it's time for the news. We'll be back with more of these interviews after.